Hi ladies, welcome to Wednesday Facebook Live as per normal. Give me some thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and you can see me and it's all working well. That would be great, thank you. So tonight's Facebook Live is, so can you give me a thumbs up to let me know you can hear me and see me? Anybody? That would be good. So tonight's Facebook Live is about listening to your inner voice. I'm very passionate about this, so I'm going to try not to go off on a rant, but I might do. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Stephanie. I am your curator, your coach for the Amazing Women Who Don't Drink group. So if you have any questions, just ask me. But if you're new, please make sure that you watch the welcome video. It tells you everything you need to know about the page and where everything is and, you know, where to go for help and things like that. So ladies, if you're watching, can you give me a thumbs up or some hearts across the screen so I can check that you can hear me, because Facebook is being weird and it's panicking me. So I'm keeping it real tonight. As you can see, I've been very busy. I've had a lovely day. I've been cleaning, so I've got no makeup on. I haven't done my hair and I've got my son's hoodie on, but I knew you wouldn't mind, ladies. Okay, so finding your own voice, trusting your own voice, listening to it. This is so important, and it's, for some of you this might seem a bit out of reach, but for those of you that are a bit further on, it's definitely something that comes as part of this journey that's really exciting. So why is it important? Well, it's really simple. This is your life. It's your life, no one else's. And I believe that you only have one life. So your life is happening now. And yes, we have to balance everything that goes on in our life, but it's still your life. So you need to live it your way and on your terms. And I feel really strongly about that. It doesn't mean that I'm incredibly selfish, although I am in some ways. You know, I'm still a mum and I'm still a daughter and I'm still a friend and I still do those things, but I do make a lot of decisions that are good for me because it's my life and I need to live it on my terms. Okay, so I mean, it's quite an exciting time now as well. You know, in the 60s, for women particularly, things have changed so much. I mean, I'm 48, so, you know, in the 60s we had contraceptive, which was massive for women. So it meant that we could control whether we had children, which is amazing. And then, you know, we didn't have to be stay-at-home mums, so we could have a career. And now we don't, you know, have to have a career and we can be stay-at-home mums, and we don't have to have children if we don't want to. So things are changing. So I do believe that now it's more exciting than ever, that actually you can be whoever you want to be more than ever, particularly as women. And I know that sounds ridiculous because the world has been here for a long time, but actually it has been I believe a very patriarchal society. That was a big word for me. So ladies, we can live those lives, but I think it's us that actually stops ourselves. So I just wanted to point that out, really. Okay, I want you to be aware. So one of the first things to be aware of is everyone has an opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all have an opinion, but part of listening to your own voice and part of this journey is just understanding that. So, and everybody's opinion is based on their life experience, their model of the world, so their values and their beliefs, which is great, but they're going to give you a perspective based on that. So you feel free to ask people questions, but remember, they're going to give you, most people, not everyone. Part of what is really important to me is that I give objective advice, and actually quite often, yes, I do good advice, but quite often you'll see that I ask questions because I want people to find it for themselves, because this is your life and your journey and you have to figure out what works for you. Not just about being alcohol free, this is about everything. So yeah, just remember that. Now I of course I talk to people and I ask people their opinion. I do. I treat it like a little mini research project. So if I've got something going on, I'm pondering, I've got to make a big decision, I will ask all my friends and I will get different points of view, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And I love it when ladies post and you get this amazing diverse range of, you know, different options and opinions. That's great. But I want you to remember that's what's worked for other people, and it may not work for you, or it might be a mixture of those things. So that's the bit about ask, listen, but remember, for most people that's based on their own life experience, their own perspective. Okay, the other thing to be aware of is social norms, you know, social construct, and we do talk about this quite a bit. So particularly for my generation, I sort of grew up with, you know, I had to do home economics and typing at school because all I was going to do was leave school and get a rubbish office job and get married and have kids. That was sort of the agenda that was set out for me, and that was very clearly communicated to me. And as a teenager, I can remember thinking, that doesn't make sense to me at all. It just didn't. It did not fit into my model of the world. But that was social construct, social norms, and that was sort of what society was expecting of me at that time as my generation. Now, I did sort of go that way, sort of. But actually, if I'd have been stronger in myself, I don't know if I would have done. And that's me being really honest. And if I am honest, I think if we're all honest, probably quite a bit of our lives and our decisions is based on other people, but also social norms and social constructs, you know, things about jobs and, you know, our children and getting married and things like that. So before we start learning how to listen to our inner voice, to trust our inner voice, we need to understand those things, that people are always going to have an opinion, but that's their opinion based on their life. And also there's this massive thing about social norms, but actually that is changing. But for some of us who are a bit older, that's probably still going to be a bit of an issue. So, you know, it's about taking your time when you're making decisions about your life and really thinking about it from all the different angles. You know, are you doing something because that's what society expects of you? You know, retiring at a certain age, taking a certain job, having children at a certain age, being a stay-at-home mum, having a career, you know, it could be anything. Is that, are you doing it because that's what society expects of you, or are you doing it because you want to, because you truly want to? Okay, so I'm just going around the houses a little bit with this one. So the thing with the alcohol-free journey is that, you know, if you're drinking, it's really hard for you to, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think it's really hard for you to listen to your own voice, to even hear your own voice. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies. I mean, I'm sure there are some people that can do that. That's great. Any substance, and alcohol is a substance, it's a drug, that you take is going to affect how you think and feel. And that's going to sort of cloud your emotions, your thoughts, you know, your day to day. I don't know about you, but for me, I pretty much felt like it was chaos. I can't say that there was, I mean, obviously I must have made some good decisions, but there were a lot of decisions that weren't very well thought out, or weren't necessarily good decisions for me, you know, sort of looking back on it. It was quite chaotic, sort of quite emotional, probably quite impulsive, and yeah. Anyway, that's a long time ago, let's not think about that. But what happens when you stop taking any substance, and I'm calling alcohol a substance because I think it helps if we say exactly what it is, it's a drug, then there's a period of time, obviously it's not easy for everyone, about learning about yourself. And that can be really exciting, you know, and it does really take time. Some of the ladies that are a bit further in, you'll know this, you know, it doesn't happen overnight, and you work at it. I mean, I'm there's no way that I'm saying that I'm fixed. I most definitely am not fixed, but I'm on a journey, I'm on a trajectory about learning about myself. And the more I learn about myself, the more I understand myself, the better able I am to listen to my inner voice. So Your inner voice, your inner wisdom, it comes when you're not using, so you're not drinking. So when you've had a period of time, you know, and you start to learn about yourself and life's a bit calmer, and this is the thing that we talk about slowing things down and thinking about your decisions and not rushing into it, but definitely learning about yourself is part of it, definitely. So listening to your inner voice is like, it's more like a feeling, a knowing, when you, so you know you want to do something. It's like an instinct. People have different words for it. So say you know that, this is an example, say that you know deep down inside you don't want to have children, but actually you're married and you're that certain age and society expects you to have children. So that's what I mean about the noise, about other people's opinions, about social norms. But if you stop and you listen, you know that you don't want to have children. So it's about listening to your inner voice, and then it's about being able to act on that and being strong enough to do that. Now, if you're alcohol free, it's a lot easier to be confident in your decisions and be strong and be clear, because when you make a decision that is different to what's expected of you, people, they don't like it, and that can be really difficult. You know, take being alcohol free, that's a classic example. So the majority of society doesn't like it that we don't drink, which is completely ridiculous and drives me insane. However, I do believe we're part of a growing movement, and that is going to change. Well, it is changing. But that's a classic example. So ladies that have been alcohol free for a little bit of time, you will be a dab hand at dealing with this. So, you know, take for instance when I left a very secure, very well paid job. It was a very well thought out decision that I'd thought about for a good few months. I'd spoken to a lot of people. Deep down inside, I knew I didn't want to do it. But the outside noise was very much about social norms, was, you know, this is a good job, this is a good job for you, you know, I earn good money, I'm good at it. You know, it was that expectation that for me to do that, but I didn't want to. But it was really hard for me to explain that to anyone. It took me a good few months to make that decision. And when I did make the decision, when I did listen to myself, it felt so good. And I made the decision and I knew that I'd made the right decision. So I didn't make a quick decision, but I did know deep down inside. And then I can think of a number of decisions like that. So ladies, I really want you to start, so alcohol-free ladies, so if you're not alcohol-free yet, this is a massive benefit, ladies. This is something to look forward to. Alcohol-free ladies, I want you to start practicing this, like seeing if, you know, when you need to make a life decision, can you listen to your inner voice? Can you listen to your instinct? Do you know instinctively what's right for you? And then think about what's coming up that's stopping you from making that decision. Is it other people's opinions? What other people expect of you? Is it social norms, social construct? Is it fear? You know, sometimes we want to do something and actually we're scared of making the leap, you know, because we don't know what's going to happen. So just being honest about that and working through it. And remember, you don't have to make snap decisions. Now, I want to leave you with one of my favourite quotes. I can't remember it exactly, but basically, listening to your inner wisdom is like listening to an orchestra, and it's when you can hear the violin playing the melody in the background, and that's what we're looking for. And I'm going to leave you with that for this evening, ladies. Always a pleasure. Ask me questions, see you soon, and look after yourselves. Thank you, ladies. Bye.